can crypto really change the way we place out trust in fiat and completely replace it within the next 10 years? So let me rephrase that. Basically, can crypto replace fiat currencies and our trust in them in the next 10 years? Um, I think that's why we're in crypto. So, I mean, I think yes, it can, but I think for that to happen, fiat currencies have to crash, unfortunately, because that's when the whole world will really lose trust in them. Until that happens, until there's a huge, uh, in psychology, when somebody like blows up or erupts, anybody who watches Criminal Minds, great show by the way. So, for example, like how does somebody become? Probably a bad example, but how does somebody become like just snap and turn into like a serial killer, right? And do something crazy that nobody would really thought of, right? Because sometimes people can just be regular people and just snap and go crazy. So they call this a stressor, right? That person usually has some kind of event in their life that just makes them snap. So, for instance, somebody could be, because in psychology, it's kind of like this. They say that I think your genes give you the gun, your environment loads the gun with a bullet. Then I think something else, maybe like the stressor or something else, pulls the bullet. Right. So basically, it's just saying that there are lots of like nobody is born a serial killer. Like it comes from lots of different factors, like your genes, like maybe you you have a mutation or something, and you have a tendency to possibly be like maybe you're a psychopath, but not all psychopaths become serial killers, right? So maybe you're a psychopath, but then you end up growing up. Maybe both your parents abused you, or you went through foster home after foster home, right? And then maybe something happened, and somebody wronged you, or somebody hurt you or died or whatever, and right, all those several events then cause you to end up becoming a Dexter type killer, right? Not the best example, but what I'm trying to say, you have a stressor event. So I think with for currencies to lose, to have their trust just totally killed, there has to be a stressor event globally, right? Whether it's the dollar crashing, whether it's something else, right? But let's take the dollar crashing. That would be a stressor event that will cause everybody to question fiat currencies, because they'll say, wow, if the dollar can crash, these things aren't really worth anything. Anything could happen. So, because right now people believe in fiat currencies, so that belief has to be questioned, and it has, and for that to happen, a stressor event has to occur, in my opinion. And then crypto just really has to solve all the issues and evolve, and I think that takes time. In 10 years, I think that's possible. I mean, that's why we're seeing now lots of other central banks are talking about creating their own digital currencies. And even recently, during the coronavirus bill that was going through Congress, they briefly had in there creating a US digital dollar, but then they had to take it out. So that is something that I think is definitely going to happen. There's 10 years from now, there will be, in my opinion, a digital currency. But for crypto to really be the way to go, either the central banks adopt it and create their own tokenized or US dollar on a cryptocurrency on a blockchain, or the dollar crashes and they create some kind of way, maybe like a gold backed stablecoin, or right, something like that. So going back to your question, let me see your question here. Can crypto really change the way we place trust in fiat? Yes, I think it can, but fiat has to crash. So that's why lots of people in the crypto space are really rooting for fiat to crash, unfortunately. But because we all see that fiat is not worth the paper it's printed on, right? It's just backed by the trust of the government, and the government has been dishonest. It's wronged the people. It's kept on printing and printing and printing money, and until the entire world realizes that this method, this experiment, cannot last, I don't really see crypto changing the way we place trust in fiat, right? Because everything has to come crashing down, unfortunately, for crypto to have a chance. And now they can coexist, but it will never replace fiat until fiat goes through a large crash, unfortunately.